Yo legends, I have been kind of stranded in the house this weekend again, so I've been spending a bit of time on Netflix checking out some originals. Legends, top of the morning to you. This is Coins Age Media. I'm Rodney Stewart. We're doing a little review on a Netflix original here. This is Rattlesnake. It's pretty much just, it's been out a matter of days at this point. It's a drama, horror, mystery, thriller. And basically, if you've seen the trailer, you've more or less seen the entire film. Like the trailer does a great job in selling it. It got me to sit down and watch it. But you know, I like a trailer that kind of just whet your appetite for a film and not give everything away. The trailer doesn't necessarily give everything away, but you know, it leaves absolutely no mystery for the actual film whenever you sit down to watch it. The basic synopsis is: when a single mother accepts the help of a mysterious woman after her daughter is bitten by a rattlesnake, she finds herself making an unthinkable deal with the devil to repay the stranger. Again, we have seen this all in the trailer. The mother and daughter travelling across country through Texas, and they get a flat tire, and the kid's out playing on the side of the road, gets bitten by a rattlesnake, and an old woman is in like a mobile home on the side of the road, which just appears out of nowhere. Again, that's in the trailer as well, and the old woman offers help to save the child, while the mother goes back out to fix the tire and comes back. The kid is completely healed, the snake bite is gone, but the old woman did say we'll discuss payment later on. No sign of her, just the trailer. The daughter and the mother takes her to the hospital, and they keep the child in for a little bit of observation. And this guy in a suit turns up and explains, okay, your daughter has been healed, but you now owe a soul for a soul. Again, that's all in the trailer as well. And she finds out that she's got 7 hours to sunset, and she needs to kill someone for the daughter to live. If she doesn't kill someone, the snake bite will return and kill the daughter. So she sets out to find someone to kill, basically. She picks a guy across the corridor in the hospital in another room, an old man that's dying. You know, she gets an opportunity later on, she's going to smother him with a pillow, but then she can't do it. She's genuinely at heart a good person. We see that throughout the beginning of the film, where, you know, our daughter has been in trouble at school for hitting someone, and the mother is like, you know, you really shouldn't hurt anyone. No one deserves to be hurt. So, you know, her heart's in the right place, but she's been forced into this situation now to save her own daughter. But the old guy, she can't bring herself to do it, and she leaves, and moments later he passes away of his own natural causes, old age and whatnot. So it's just, you know, it toes that line in this part here where, you know, for a matter of 2 minutes extra, she could have done that. But, you know, again, this woman is fighting her own upbringing, her own personality, her own goodness throughout this film. So she goes to drown her sorrows in a bar, and she meets a young woman who is in an abusive relationship, and she sees her opportunity to take out someone that deserves to be taken out. You know, she's justified it to herself. This is a husband beater, I was going to say. This is a wife beater, and if anybody deserves to die, it's him. So she has to go and get a gun at this point, but she's not a resident of Texas, so she can't legally buy one, so she has to go to an illegal arms dealer. She gets the gun, basically sneaks into this couple's house and abducts the husband and takes him out into the middle of nowhere to kill him. But she loses him in the process, and she comes across this woman dressed as a camper, and she realises this is one of the dead people that she's been seeing throughout the film. The guy in the suit that turns up in the hospital that tells her about the soul for soul debt is a victim of, a previous snake bite. Throughout the film, a couple of times she comes across different characters who are also victims, not of the snake bite, but the victims of the people that took the places. The soul for a soul, the people who are exchanged for loved ones being saved. And she realises, whenever she meets this girl dressed up as a camper, and she's got the backpack and all on a camera, and at this point she's kind of pleading, there has to be another way out of this, she's only a child, can please help me, sort of a thing. And the tourist camper girl says, you know what you have to do. And at this point, I seen this coming for a bit during the film, and she decides at this point that, if it's a soul for a soul, take mine in place of my daughter. So there's a beautiful little moment where she sits down to record a goodbye message on her mobile phone to her daughter, but the wife beater that she had lost in the canyons jumps her from behind during this little video she's recording, and then she's forced to again confront him, and a snake, the rattlesnake, turns up at the end and kinda takes him out for her, sort of a thing. So she does, by the end of the film, kill this guy, but it's questionable at this point in the film that and the film, don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful film, it's a well crafted film, a well shot film, but there are parts of it where it seems to be losing its way, particularly close to the end, because in all honesty, when she's having this final confrontation with the wife beater, and again this demon rattlesnake turns up out of nowhere and bites him, I'm thinking to myself, if she kills this guy now, does the soul for a soul thing actually still count? Because this guy has now been put under the same sort of a deal that her daughter has been put onto. So even if she does kill him now, will it save the daughter? Well, it does by the end of the film, but at the very end, and it seems to run on for about 4 or 5 scenes longer than it really should. At the end of the film, it kind of feels like they didn't know how to really wrap it up. And the last sequence in the film is the mother and daughter driving away, continuing on their trip, and they see this guy that she's killed walking on the side of the street as a hitchhiker, and that's his ghost. Again, she sees the victims of the people that were taken to replace the others, but I'm still questioning that last snake bite that he got before she killed him, because again, the storytelling side of things here kind of lost its way in places, particularly close to the end. The film is beautifully shot, but what I have noticed in a lot of the Netflix originals, like I've been guilty of this in the past and stuff I've made as well, is you get kind of gun happy with the camera once you get out there to make something, and you end up putting in a lot of stuff that you really don't need. And I think parts of this film suffer from that. There's a heck of a lot of shots that were in there that weren't necessarily needed, though they did look amazing. And I did say it in my review for The Influence that I did last week, I think before it. Again, there's a lot of stuff on there as well. It was almost as if the cameraman and crew, director, producer and everybody that were involved in the project were like, yes, we've got a bit of money to work with here, let's just do what we want, whether it's good for the finished film or not. I'm saying that the film doesn't suffer for it, but there are a few times on there where you're kind of thinking, okay, stop dragging this on, just move on with the story. Slows down the pace badly, even though the visuals are beautiful to look at, not necessarily needed. Another thing that really did, and I'm not going to say annoy me, but it was just like, oh gosh, if you're going to do that, there's an effect shot early in the film where this old lady that helps the daughter at the start, that's pretty much the only time you see her in the entire film. But through different sequences within the film, you do get to see like an ominous outline of this old lady in the background of like news reports. You know, there's a sequence where the mother was looking up news reports on deaths in this town, and you know, you would see like news reports on YouTube from like television stations, and in the background of the shot you would see this woman standing kind of her arms folded in front of her. And yes, there's one sequence where that image pops up in the hospital. It's a nice little effect shot through a glass paned window at the end of a corridor, but the shot that they used to do that was kind of like slowly moving down the hallway towards the door, but there was a nurse at a nurse's station just off to the right of the screen, and that was because the nurse was there. She was just on the corner of the actual screen. It was taking your full attention away from this door to this nurse, so while the effect shot was happening, you're fully concentrating on this nurse at the side of the screen. That kind of did annoy me slightly, because it was a good effect shot. The effect shot through that window of this image was nicely done, but you know, the framing and movement of the camera kind of took your attention right away from it, and just, you know, I actually had to, the shot had finished, we were just cutting to something else whenever I caught the image of the woman in the doorway, and I actually had to record, like, you know, rewind Netflix, watch it again. So it's little things like that there that you know, you're just thinking to yourself, okay, a lot of the stuff we're getting on Netflix these days, don't get me wrong, is absolutely amazing. Some of the stuff I've been watching on there is on par with Hollywood blockbusters. Like, they really are getting good at their craft, and they're giving new filmmakers an opportunity to get out there and make some stuff. But you can see the amateur side of the thing and some of the shots, and you know, it's and that's not to put the film down in any way, shape or form. The film is very good, but there's just little things I got there that could have really used tightening up in the final edit, and I kind of feel like it got underneath the radar at the end. But all in all, it's a great film. It's by no means a waste of your time. Definitely go and check it out. It is worth a little watch.